What is going on, everybody? Kamusta kayo lahat mula sa Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, or wherever the heck you are on the planet? This is your one and only Jake of all trades, the place to be for any niche, every genre, and all generations. I'm your master of ceremony, D to the E to the LRO, aka JDR, aka the extraordinary introvert. So gang, we are back at it again with another episode. And just a quick forewarning, guys. I may not be consistent anymore in my uploads. It doesn't mean I'm not going to post anymore, but expect some weeks where I won't be posting content. Expect some weeks where I'll be posting more than usual. That is because I recently just applied to new remote work, and it's only fitting that we talk about this topic just because I am on the eve or I'm on the heels of submitting an application. So basically, what is this topic all about? We're going to talk about everyone's favorite topic, adulting. So I noticed that when I look at my stats on Spotify and Anchor, most of my audience are ranging between 18 to 22 years old or 23 to 27 years old. So bottom line is, you guys are young adolescents to full-time young adults. So what does that mean? I'm sure nalilito kayo when it comes to navigating the adulting world. And I'm sure things just went from bad to worse with this current new normal situation. So I'm sure adulting just got twice or if not thrice as hard. And I can relate with you guys because me personally, as a fresh graduate myself, I have been struggling with the world of adulting. And there's so days where I don't know how the heck I'm going to navigate the world of adulthood. Thankfully, that's what we're going to talk about in the next two episodes. So just like the Back to School series, this is going to be another series. It's going to be another two-part episode. So hope you guys stay tuned for this one and for the next. So the first guest, by the way, he came in on very short notice because I was supposed to have a different guest for today, but she canceled last minute. But we're going to get her one of these days, don't worry about it. But this next guest of ours, very, very acclaimed, very, very legendary and all that. I know I'm making stuff up, but it's true.
It's not true.
This guy's seen it all, man. He's been through the quarter life crisis. He's been in the workplace a lot of times. He's been there, done that. And another major difference. I'm sure nasasawa na kayo because puro atenista yung mga iniimbita ko. But this guy is different because he's in a different breed. He's from the Royal Pontifical Premier Catholic University of Santo Tomas, aka USTE. So he's from that institution. So I know my intro is stretching and I'm sorry, but let's get that out of the way and let's give it up for Mr. Mark Mendoza.
What is up? What is up? Happy to be on the show, bro.
Yeah, me too. How'd you like that intro? Was it too long? Was it corny?
Nah, it's alright, man. So good. I'm surprised that you noticed the stuff that I said on our podcast. That was crazy. You got it locked down.
Yeah, dude, guys, he's just fresh from a podcast recording. So the fact that he dedicated some time to go jump in right here to mine just right after his, that's a lot of props. And I also want to give him credit for guesting me because I've never been I've been a guest before on the Maroon Talk podcast. I'll link you there. But I was a recent guest of his, and it was also short notice. Like he tapped me up last minute. So it's just a matter of him returning the favor this time around.
Definitely, bro. More than happy to do so.
That's how vibrant our bond has been. Even though we just met like this week, it's been crazy.
Yeah, man. I owe you. I'll never forget that. I don't think I can ever repay that, even if I'm on your show right now. So we bros for life.
Yeah. Well, you equated it. You reciprocated that by being down to guest here. So I'm truly grateful for that.
Definitely, man. Happy to be here. What are we talking about? Adulting.
Yeah, adulting 101. Yep.
Definitely.
But before we talk about adulting, like, tell us a little bit more about yourself. So, what do you do? What are your hobbies? Like, what's your history, background stuff? You don't have to spill everything, but just maybe some of the important beats that maybe my viewers would love to know. So the floor is
Yeah,
yours, buddy.
sure. All right. Well, my name is Mark Mendoza. People call me Mendy or Mendoy. I grew a portion of my life. I grew up in Australia, or I stayed in Australia for a bit, about 4 years, I think, 5 years. We got back here, did the hustle. Family didn't have much, so I had to go from college straight to work. So I had to adult early just to connect that to this episode. And did real estate corporate accounts management for about four years, I think, 4 or 5 years. And then, which is when I went through my quarter life crisis. I resigned. I took the gamble of transitioning or pivoting to a different job. And I did technology. I chose technology without knowing anything. Just taught myself the ins and outs, and I'm now in a very fast-growing company that's offshore. It's Australian-based, and it's been good so far. So yeah, that's kind of how life has been laid out for me. I used to play in a band. I play the drums. I've been playing the drums since I was 10 years old. I stopped when I was probably 23 or something like that. I played for this band, or a portion of the band who's famous now, Autotelic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I used to play for two of them, I think 2 or 3 of them. And then I gave up music altogether because I'm, as they call, a corporate sellout. But we'll talk more about that later. And then I got involved with electronic, the EDM scene or the EDM scene. But then I ended up really deep diving in a little bit more into other forms of electronic music. I managed a group called The Wildlife, a majority of them from Ateneo, by the way.
Nice.
Wildlife, what's up, guys? There's a couple of them in LA right now pursuing music. Did that for a couple of years. In the in-between of me and day jobbing, we also built a small company that was supposed to cover music. It was kind of like a media outlet. We got funded. It was my first ever project, and luckily we got funded. We actually made good money, but then I ended up leaving because of typical partner issues. So I left, tried to build a couple of other companies. Then still unsuccessful, or I actually didn't push through because it used to require a lot of money. But now I'm trying to build a couple of stuff on the side as well. On my good days, my hobbies are building like literally anything. Right now I'm building a aquaponics setup and a hydroponics setup at the back of our house. Doing it for fun, but really it's more of because we're in MECQ, I want to sell to the community and provide cheaper alternative to vegetables. That's what I'm doing. That's what I do for my hobby. I like making stuff. I can make a lightsaber as well.
Wow.
Stuff that I do, man. It's just I just can't stop building.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow,
So that's pretty much it.
That's a long list right there. That's a whole story. That's a whole storybook that's a whole autobiography, if you will, of accomplishments.
Did I say too much?
Journeys.
I feel like I said too much. I'm in my host mode still because I just finished Dylan and Babu episode.
No, that's no worries, bro. If anything, we need as much info, we need as much storylines, because that's really going to enrich the experience of this episode, especially now that adulting just got a lot harder.
100%.
Yeah, first of all, I still can't believe you're 30 years old. Like, the fact that you mentioned that you're in your 30s, it's still hard to believe, bro.
Yeah, bro. Turning 32. Damn. That's crazy, man. I'm a huge fan of Peter Pan, though. Never gonna. Like, the idea is stay as young for as long as possible. Gotta stay alive, though, before anything else.
Yep. As the song goes, you want to stay forever young, right?
Forever young.
Yep.
That's a trick. Also when it comes to when it comes to work and adulting, that's something that people, I think, and it's been a belief of mine for the longest time. You really have to keep young, you know. Like creative ideas and stuff like that only come when you believe in when you truly believe that like you've got a fresh mind.
So yeah, I mean, the man just said it. You gotta just channel the inner child in you, no matter how old you get each year. And I think it's really important that we stay true to ourselves and true to our youth, because you're only young once. So, you know, for all the young listeners out there, enjoy your youth. Like, promise, you're gonna miss those days when you grow up.
100%, man. 100%. It's been like, you know, this you know how ECQ is having us all hold up, and I feel like I'm going through like a, I don't know what you call it, transgression. I don't know. A lot of me being an adult now. That sounds really bad. I'm not an adult, but or whatever.
Yeah,
but
we're old basically.
We're old.
Yeah, we're
old. Like I've been going through memories. I'm that type of, you know, that type of person, which is like I like taking videos and photos. Is like looking through them in my head. I'm like, man, I should have maximized my youth. Like, look what you're doing, bro. Like, you're 22, you've got a podcast, you're very eloquent, and you know, you're doing something. Which is what you're supposed to do. Back in my day when I was 22, bro, I was waiting paycheck after paycheck and drinking my money away. Had no savings at all. You know, didn't think anything else but having fun over the weekends and being single. But it was a good ride still. Yeah. You said your listeners are in between. Like, what's the ratio? 18 to 22 was the biggest.
Well, I forgot the exact distribution of the percentage, but like, I think 60 to 67% are like 18 to 22. And then the second biggest percentage is like 23 to 27. And then all of a sudden you have the boomers and you have the 13 to 17 year olds. But yeah, pretty much the main target audience, if you will, even though I try to cater to as much ages, the main target audience is 18 to 22, 23 to 27.
I don't know. I think you guys, like the 18 to 20, what are you, Z, right? You guys are
Z. We're the Genzers.
Yeah. Well, that's the first time I heard that. Genzers, cool. You guys are really interesting. You know why? Back in the day, bro, I swear on everything. Back in the day when I was 18 to 22, if you wanted to put out anything in public, like if you wanted to be, you know, there was nothing else that was cool except for if you were a musician or a basketball player. That was that. Man. Like that. Like back in my day, there was no other way to really get traction in any shape or form besides if you were, you know, a basketball player, you'd be cool. If you were into IT, you'd be like, bro, you're a nerd. You're a nerd.
Yep.
Get out of here. Get out of this place. But now, man, right? IT people are like,
they're ruling the world, basically.
Ruling the world, you know? So you weren't like, nowadays, like I spoke to a professor from CSB, and she was like, and she's my age, and she was like, dude, sobrang iba na ng kids ngayon, man. Like they value authenticity, they value individuality. And there's so many niches. Like before, sunod sa uso eh. You know, like if you like back in the day, elephant pants. Everyone had elephant pants, man. And you'd have small pockets of people like oh metal ako eh. Like I don't wanna be a elephant wearing trotting person. Like the reason why I'm mentioning this is just connected to adulting. I feel like you guys could adult way better than what we could have done. I don't know. I just feel like it, man.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why, but you know, I really truly believe in your generation. You know, some people are like, "Oh, TikTok generation." Man, you know, the amount of stuff that you consume.
Yeah.
Right? Like used in the right way, you can do so many things, which is what you're doing, bro.
Yo, dude, before we continue, like, I'm truly grateful for that. Like, the fact that you said that as a 22-year-old, you're already putting yourself out there. I think I truly appreciate that, hearing it from other people, not just from you, but like from some of my listeners so far. But believe it or not, I have those same regrets you have. Like, as I mentioned, I'm just a recent fresh graduate. But sometimes, especially now with the whole quarantine, there are like days where I look back at my previous years in college. I'm like, oh damn, I wish I should have taken more advantage of my time. Like, I wish I joined this, or I wish I joined that organization. Like, I was not really the most active student or just person in college, and I guess that's what sparked me making a podcast. Actually, more just to make up for the stuff that I missed out on, because I wanted to realize that it's never too late nor too early to start something.
Definitely, that's such a good reason as well. I did a lot of stuff when I was in high school. I joined the basketball varsity, and because I was really into sports. I grew up with my father managing Dunlop, a Dunlop and Slazenger factory in Australia, and so I always had tennis and cricket. And when I got here, obviously it was basketball.
Yeah.
And so I got into basketball, and then I also got into choir because my mom's a singer, and I really wanted to be a rock star, right? I did a lot of that. Yeah, but looking back, there's still like, I did it to be cool, man. Yeah. That's if I have kids now, I'm like, listen, if you're going to do this stuff, you got to take it seriously, kid.
Yeah.
And in college, I did, I was a member of the pep squad. I played the drums for USD, and it was a crazy experience. It was so amazing. It was like we were treated as athletes, like basketball varsity. We walk down the street and people would take photos and stuff like that.
Wow.
But still, like, looking back, I'm like, man, did I really do my college time justice? I feel like I didn't appreciate it too much. I felt like I was living day by day, not thinking about how I could maximize or how I could make a difference or how I could, help a brother out,
Yeah.
And it's just for the lack of guidance as well, because back in the day, like, my parents were the baby boomers. All they ever know until now is just work, procedural work. And I feel like the advantage that the 18 to 22-year-old people have is my generation, which is the early millennials, have the best of both worlds, I think.
Yeah.
Right? We got to see how our parents really stuck to one job and worked for the sake of working, but now we can guide you guys and make you realize that actually it's just pretty much the stuff that I'm saying is a reflection of my regrets. I wish I could have done this when I was your age.
Yeah.
And we can keep it simple as well. We can keep it cool. I mean, like, cool, like rad in terms of, wow, rad. Who says rad? I mean, in terms
dope,
of
man.
dope. It's dope now. Right?
It's dope.
But no, what I'm trying to say is, like, if you look at people that are my age, there's so many things that you guys are doing that we wish we could have done.
Yeah.
And in that sense, if you do it, like, if you want to be an influencer, if you want to be a programmer, if you want to be a musician, if you want to be a painter, if you want to be a rapper, if you want to be a podcaster, you can do it. You can go out and do it and make a living off of that. It is real.
Yes, sir.
It's just, it is what it is. I mean, although I can't hide the fact that my day job gave me a lot to really bank on. It's like, I feel like my day jobs, you know how you throw a punch, right? You can't throw a punch without like, punch is all muscle.
Yeah.
But without the skeleton to really take the reverb or the bounce back of the force or the energy that you put through it. I think that's this, like, the day job or the corporate life that I experienced is the skeleton to my muscle. What interests you, like, in terms of why did you choose this topic?
Well, before we go to that, I just want to comment on your whole basketball equals rock star comment.
Yeah.
You're so right, because I just realized back in my day, I was grade 6, but like back then Chris Chu was the He was the face of Ateneo.
My guy. Yeah.
And like every time his face pops on TV, naghihiyawan na yung mga babae.
yeah.
Dude, it was crazy.
Crazy, man. That guy's a legend. So smart as well.
But you're so right. Like, not just Chris Juha, but any basketball player. Like, every time he would walk down the aisle, he would walk down campus, dude, he's an automatic rock star. Like,
yeah.
Even if hindi pa uso yung mga selfies, like, back then.
You could take photos and stuff.
Yeah, you could take pictures, you could get autographs. It would be a big deal back then. So, I totally get what you're talking about with the whole basketball and music were like the main
stuff,
niches of back in the day.
Yeah, kind of like a classification of coolness.
Yeah,
you know, it came with it.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, to answer your question, like what interested me to discuss this topic? Well, first of all, like I said in my introduction, I recently just came off a job interview, and I know like that in itself is not adulting, because adulting is filling up your SSS, getting your TIN number, getting your driver's license and all that. Basically all the important documents that you will need for the rest of your life. And now it is just so much harder because we become less mobile with the whole quarantine. And I feel like that, along with work, along with taking care of your family, because now with the whole pandemic, there are actually a lot more errands that you have to do. I mean, as of late, I've been going to the market lately just to buy our veggies for the week. I've been going to Petron to gas up the car, even though we don't have to go out. Like, it still pays to have a car at full tank. So bottom line is, there's just so much things on your plate, and wala pa dyan yung work, wala pa dyan yung day job mo. So the reason why I wanted to talk about adulting is because it's super timely right now. I mean, doesn't mean that
you're getting into
normal. Doesn't mean we're spared from, or we're, what's the term? Man, I'm kind of lost. But you're not excluded, or you're not exempted. There you go. You're not exempted from
you're not
your
exempted
responsibilities. If anything, it just got amplified a whole lot more.
Yeah, man. I mean, well, let's start with the actual adulting stuff you do after graduation, right?
Yeah.
You know, getting your government IDs. You know what's really screwed up is I did all of that clueless, man. I did not know anything at all.
Wow.
I just trusted man. I trusted our HR to do I'm like, what's the SSS? What is that? What is PhilHealth? What is Pag-ibig, man? I did not know anything at all. I was so clueless. And I think that's something that like your age group should also realize is, like, you don't have to know this stuff, or you don't have to super take it seriously, you know. You gotta take it light, because it is it's a tough situation in your life, because you're going from a transition. Like, you're going from a seasonal way of living. What I mean by seasonal is you're going through school years, right? Yep. You're going through school years, you go through semesters, and then you take a quick break, and then you go through another semester, and then you take Christmas break, and then another sem, and then summer break.
Yeah.
That's like you've been living in quarters for 21 long years. Well, 18, I think, is education. 18 or 19.
Yeah.
So you've been doing that for so long, right? And heading into after graduation, you've got to apply for a job. I think for me, the most important thing to do is keep calm, because it's so, like, you can get easily eaten up by, the transition, if you like it. I think I did it really mindlessly, though, which is the wrong way to do it. You got to position yourself smart. The first job really will be what you will be down the road. I truly believe that. Like, the first job, the first long-term job, I guess I could say, would be something that will shape you throughout the next years, throughout the next couple of years. Like, like nothing else. It's really like, you know what I did? Like when I was starting to adult, I made it a point to resign after 4 years, because in my head it was like an extension of college. You know?
Interesting.
So,
Interesting
like,
approach.
Yeah, it was like I couldn't accept the fact that I wasn't living in semesters anymore. You know, it was so hard for me. Like my first ever Christmas working. No, I mean, my first ever Christmas period where I did not get a Christmas break hurt me so much. It cut me so bad. You know?
Yeah.
And it was tough. The transition is tough, and filling out your SSS is really important as well. You know, would you have your license already? You said you drove a while ago. Yeah.
It was not easy though. It was not easy.
Oh, did you go through driving school?
Well, thankfully my dad taught me, and
yeah, that's good.
I think back in 2017 we went all the way to the main office, and guess what time we were there? Guess what time we had to be there?
What time? 5 a.m.
That's the time we left the house.
Okay.
And then we were there like 7:30. Guess what time we got our license?
What time?
5:30 p.m.
3 o'clock.
No,
5:30?
Yeah.
Yo, you had
Dude.
it hard. But just going back to adult chores, you know, realizing now that that I am an adult, doing adult chores, things like paying the bills, for example, or putting like, you know, giving money to your parents to buy food, or like chip in for grocery, bro, that's such a big deal, man. That is such a big deal, you know? Like, imagine you've been like, these humans have been working their asses off all their lives to feed you, to give you proper education. And this is something that I never thought about as a, you know, I mean, I did a whole lot, but to think about it in this tangent, or from this perspective, is something that I feel like your age group has to. There's two ways of handling it, really, right? And this is and I'm gonna say the way that I thought what it was, right? What I thought back in the day was, I need to work to give back to the family, you know, or to my mom and dad for giving me the life that I had. And honestly though, I'm not sure if your listeners are going to agree with me on this one, or your age group, but really, you kind of want to, because that kept me a little bit trapped, right? In terms of just the mental, or the thinking of the angle that way. What empowered me, what made me transition from really like thinking that corporate is an extension of college, was when I realized that I did not have to do that to secure them. I could build my own thing, you know, I could build my own life, but at the same time structure it in a way where I don't say goodbye to these people. And it's more of just pressuring yourself, you know. As a kid, I feel like you pressure yourself, actually, you know. If right now I train a couple of people that communicate, let's put it that way, in the current company that I'm with. It's a tech firm. Well, technically it's a tech firm, and it's always a matter of perspective, you know. Like, adulting for you guys is a little bit, I wouldn't say shallow, but you don't see it yet, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there will come a time when you're like, wait, what the heck just happened? Where am I? How do I have a wrinkle? What is going on in this situation? You know? But really, like, what matters is your perspective as to what you're going through right now. you know, I feel like the foundations, and is it the right topic though? Like, are we, because what I'm thinking about is your transition from being, you know, a college student towards adulting. Is that okay?
Yeah, that it fits the void.
So yeah, and so I feel like a tip that I could give is set a good foundation. You know, get a mindset. You can't wing this situation in your life.
Oh no, you can't.
You can't
Not
wing
at
it,
all.
man. You need a lot of guidance. You know, a lot of really, like, if you could find a mentor, go get yourself one, because there is nothing that can prepare you for real, like, actual adulting. You know, when your semestral cycles are finished. At least for me, that's what happened. You know, and I really wish that I did get a mentor at that age.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think guidance is super key, and that's actually another tip that I have, like, to segue to yours. It doesn't mean that you're an adult, doesn't mean that you're an adult you have to do all these things by yourself. If anything, that is the exact opposite of what adulting is.
Definitely
you need
the
all
exact
the help
opposite.
you can get. And at first, when I was doing these stuff, I would be frustrated because I'm like, oh, I'm grown up now. Bakit pa ako nakakatulong? Or why are there people still helping me? Bakit may tulong pa ako from ibang tao?
Yeah.
But then it's only through these experiences that you realize,
Bro,
I'm actually lucky to be receiving this guidance, because
definitely.
one misstep here could be a difference maker between receiving an ID that you need and, you know, not getting it.
Yeah, man. You, like, I can't stress enough the amount of help that I got. And then I'm not shy about it, man. It is what it is. You like there are times though that you'll feel alone, for sure, as an adult. There will be times, but you know, it's really a matter of perspective. I think yeah, one of the most important things that I've learned throughout the years is there's no losing in a lot of things that adults do. You know? Well, sorry, at least at my age. You know? Oh, that's one thing too. That's another thing, actually. Like, from in between 20 and 30 and 31, you definitely have to pull out anything that you can. As much as you can. This is the time when you take as much risks, as much, you know, but obviously guided risks. You can't, like, I always say, you can go crazy, but don't be stupid.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? You get
Calculated risks. Yep.
Calculated risks, 100%. But it, like, in that in between is when you really have to pull it all out. Like, I feel like adulting is a little bit understated. In that age group.
Oh yeah. And it can be most seen, like, on Twitter, because
people are always complaining on Twitter, right?
people be complaining about, hassle naman to, hassle naman yung SSS, hassle naman kunin yung TIN number, ibang araw na lang. Dude, every moment, every minute counts. Like, there's no guarantee when you're gonna get these IDs. So the sooner you get these, the better. The sooner you get these stuff out of the way, it'll just save you more time and money.
I actually feel like I deep dove too much in the latter end of what the topic is. I feel like let's start with applying for a job is adulting. That's like the first step, man.
That's the initiation. That's the welcome to the real world.
Yeah, that's the welcome to like your first interview is the welcome to the real world, boy.
Oh yeah.
Like this is like you have no advisor here. You don't have your friends here. You're gonna have to make new friends. You know. I'll tell you what I did. I applied to about, I would say I had enough money to print out 20 application forms, I think. Or no, 20 resumes. Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
applied. My first ever try at applying was at a school fair, a job fair at school, and I applied to all of the companies there that fit my course, which is like economics. I took up economics, by the way. Really happy that I did. I should have taken IT though, but I feel like I wouldn't have any idea of how the IT business world would work if I took up IT. I applied to 20 companies, man. And without preparation, you know, I did some really dumb stuff. I went to a company. It was a tech company, but the company that I applied for, and this is classic adulting mistake, right? The company that I applied for actually had a sister company, and that's the actual company that I applied for. Does that make sense?
Oh.
So
basically
I went
the
there,
one that you wanted was not the one that you got.
was not the one that I got. And she was like, the HR person was like, do you know what you're applying for? I'm like, yeah, I love this company. I've known this company since I was a kid.
Oh
you
my
know?
gosh.
And she was like, okay. I was like, yeah, you know, you guys do computers, man. Like you're legends. And I really want to be part of this company. I feel like I can contribute, you know, my creativity and you know, my communication skills. And she's like, okay, we'll call you. And I was applying for a services company instead of a tech company. It was so dumb.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
Yeah, so dumb. And what was tough is out of the 20, I only got interviewed by 3. And one of them was a multi-level marketing scam. So, you know, these are stuff that you make as you transition to adulthood. And luckily, the last company that I submitted to, really nice HR woman. She's like, just apply now. I'm like, real estate? I don't know. She's like, no, it's a good company. She's from USC as well. And so I applied, and I had the best time of my life in that company. I mean, I really regret drinking my life away because I used to drink a lot. I used to drink a lot. I used to smoke a lot. Kids, guys, I cannot stress enough. Do not do it. It is not cool. Back in the day, by the way, if you were smoking, you were cool.
Even during my dad's time, he would always say
cool
that.
Guy.
And we seem to be having some
like vaping, yeah, you know, that vaping situation is all right, but actually still not all right, man. You know, it's a little bit healthier, but it's still not all right, you know. But lesser kids smoke now. Like looking at it, I dropped by La Salle a year ago for my friend. I've got a friend who's a professor there. Like, whoa, these kids look really nice. You know, way different now, and I'm really happy for that as well. So kids, don't smoke, man. And I really regret. And so that's what I did in my first job. You know, I actually got a good company, but I threw it all away. And so I feel like another tip that I could give is just adulting means like the gateway to adulting is applying for your first job. Don't stop at 10. If you applied for 10 companies and you didn't get in, so what? Here's what happened. After I went through quarter life, I applied. I kid you not. I'll show you my Job Street account. I applied to 98 companies. I only got interviewed by 8.
Serious, bro?
Yeah. Submitted my application.
Whoa,
98 companies,
crazy.
man. Yeah, because I wanted to transition. You know, I wanted to go from real estate finance to real estate accounts management. I wanted to move towards technology, which I knew nothing about until I watched YouTube videos and I read a lot of books. Yeah, I got lucky too. So
wow, our approach was very different to say the least. Not that I didn't apply at all, but I did not apply to that many right after graduation. If anything, I mean, I took a couple of months off.
Yeah, that's perfectly. I was just about to say, and I thought actually it's a good thing that you brought it up. I forgot to bring it up, but the best thing you could do actually, take some time off. Yeah, take some time off. Get a strategy in, you know. you're from Ateneo as well, bro. You have a little bit of freedom to choose, really great companies because of the programs that they put you through in Ateneo, which is so freaking good.
Yeah.
And so you've got that, but for the listeners that aren't from, top 4 schools, for example, which is a reality.
Yeah, that's the sad truth.
Yeah, it's just a reality, man. Which is why I want to build my own school, by the way. One of my biggest goals in life.
Wow,
is
that's
my own
nice.
school.
That's nice. Well,
yeah.
You
my
maybe
purpose.
you can come down to our preschool,
Actually, you guys have a preschool.
You can be our next teacher, after Gabby. If Gabby decides to try out something else.
Yeah.
You could fill in.
Well, I got to
one
guess
of these
Gabby,
days.
by the way.
Yeah, you should.
It's cool. I went through, how I went through that quarter life crisis situation. I went through it for 3 years.
Wow.
Until I got anxiety and panic disorder and stuff like that, and because I went through the entire existential crisis situation, and I realized my purpose. Well, not really. Their purpose says, by the way, you don't have one singular purpose in life, and one of those are just I want a school. I want to build a school. And just the other day, I was thinking, wait, how can I build a school not having been a teacher? So, bro, I'll take that in. But just going back to adulting, man, the application is really the gateway, and then during that is when you do the SSS stuff.
Yeah. Yo, but guys, my cousin said something really interesting, and she's gonna be the next guest, by the way, after you. Sure, you can have all the connections. Sure, you have the Ateneo diploma, the UST diploma, or whatever diploma from what school you're from. But it doesn't automatically also mean that shuin ka na. Like, you have to still fight for that position. You still have to, give yourself the best impression of yourself to the people and the companies you're applying for. Although it helps to have the diploma, it doesn't automatically also mean a shuin either, because you're competing with hundreds of thousands of fresh graduates as well. So that's the only drawback to
definitely
applying for a first job.
At the end of the day, you gotta back yourself up, man. Like, you number one, as a human, right? These people will hire you thinking that you're from a really good school, so you have to represent. If you can't represent, then what do you look like as a human? Do you get me? Like, this guy's from Ateneo, but look at him, man. Look at this entitled jerk. And as a human, you don't want to be that way, man. You really have to represent.
And my mom would always say, may pagkaiba ang nag-aral sa may pinag-aralan. So,
that's a really good one.
Yeah, that's a bar right there. Yep.
Yeah.
Mom's got bars.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm sorry for cursing, Tita. Anyways, go ahead.
It doesn't mean that you're from that school that you automatically possess the qualities. You yourself have to showcase those qualities. You can't just let the labels dictate how you're gonna present yourself to others. Like, nasa sayo pa rin yun at the end of the day. Like,
and it's also like, once you get out of that hump, though, it's more about your progression in your career, man. Hopefully you realize early that you're in a position that a lot of people do not have, specifically in a third world country like ours. And as part of adulting, it is your social or moral responsibility to really make good use of the time that you have working, or as an inhabitant of the Philippines, someone that contributes not just through taxes but through service, and through influence as well. So just painting adulting a little bit more complex, really, because that's how I saw it. Even if I was mindless, like at the back of my head when I was going through, like when I renewed my passport, I felt so accomplished. When I got a postal ID, I was like, whoa, this actually the first ever ID that I got was a postal ID. I had a problem with my name. I was born Marx Lenin, right? And my parent, my lolo, was an activist.
Wow.
So he named me after Karl Marx, right? And,
Wow.
and Vladimir Lenin. And my parents were gonna baptize me as Marx Lenin, right?
Whoa.
And the priest didn't allow it.
I was gonna say sobrang Marxist mo naman.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
The
all my
priest didn't allow
sociology
it.
kids, all my sociology blockmates are gonna love that. Yep, March
Yeah.
represent.
Crazy. It's crazy. But I studied the guy so bad because I was named after him, you know? And the priest didn't allow it. And so they changed my name to Mark and my middle name, like on the spot. And so I couldn't, like, I had to fix that. But to fix that would have cost us around 250,000 pesos. And priorities were, you know, different back in the day.
Yeah.
And so I only changed it 5 years ago officially. You know, when it didn't cost that much. Back in the day, it was 5,000 per letter.
Per letter?
15,000 per letter.
Bro,
Crazy.
you're joking, right? That's crazy.
Back in the day, man, that's crazy. Now they changed it, so I only ended up spending like 30K, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
Which is, you know, so far from what it was supposed to be.
So to future
anyways,
parents,
Yeah.
really think about who you're gonna name your child. It's gonna count.
Oh, get your name straight. Get your name straight. Yeah, and so and make sure that your birth certificate above anything else is fixed, which is what I didn't do, right?
Yeah.
And so it took me a long while to get a driver's license. It took me a long while to renew my passport. You know, because it was just the constrictions of what the Philippine system of governance was on birth certificates. It was really tough to navigate.
Yeah.
But it does feel really good, bro. Once you get your license, once you get, you know, start getting these IDs and stuff like that, it felt good. It felt like, wow, you know, I'm part of the system.
Yeah, welcome to the club. Yep.
Welcome to the club, you know.
So, do you have any last minute tips and all that?
Yeah, I would
Is there
say
anything we missed out?
I think the only thing I didn't cover was write everything down. You know, if you're going to, you know, adult, write everything down. Write all your responsibilities down. I also think health is part of adulting. You cannot, I kid you not, you cannot eat the same crappy stuff that you used to eat when you were in your teens or early 20s by the time you hit 25 or 26. So take care of your body, write everything down. And I know a lot of people don't like planning, but plan out the rest of your life now. There's no reason that you can't. And it's also just a guide anyway, so don't let it pressure you. But the fact that you've got something in your head running will really, really, really help out. Like the reason why I'm in tech now is because I've had tech in my head forever. I've been reading articles on tech. I've been watching a lot of stuff on tech. And so the people that are in the transitionary period or undergoing adulting or the first instances of adulting, make the most out of it, man, because it'll really shape you in the time to come.
Yes, sir. That's true. Although also, for those who don't have a clear vision of how their life is gonna pan out for the next 10 to 20 years, at the same time, wag rin kayo magpanic because
100%.
mahaba pa rin yung buhay mo, and
yeah,
there's also such a thing as not planned goes according to plan. And really, it's all about preparation. Even though those plans don't work, like what are your contingencies? it doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, what's going to be my backup job? What's going to be my backup niche? It's really just more focusing on fixing your habits, just getting your good manners right, and really just having that sort
Foundations.
of professional aura that will really carry you over for the rest of your life.
Yeah, 100%. You're correct. Just a quick fact: kids in Japan actually don't go through school until they're like 7, I think 7 or 6. So they don't have preschool. I'm not too sure about it. I forgot what what I read was, but they're kind of homeschooled until a certain age, and they're all taught like the foundations of being a decent citizen, a decent human being.
Yeah.
And I feel like for Filipinos specifically, what you said was just profoundly correct. You know, you really can't plan, but it is nice to prepare for it, which is technically what I meant as well. Just prepare for what you think can and could happen, but don't let it pressure you. But also at the back of everything, try to get your foundations down, man. Kindness
It's all
goes
about
such
core
a long
values.
way. Yeah, 100%.
All about your core values.
Your moral fiber, being kind and being, practice empathy. A lot of the kids nowadays, though, are very empathetic. I think empathy goes extremely a long way.
And I guess that's a perfect segue to another tip that I have. You did mention earlier that you're not just all about the taxes you pay, but it's all about the service you give to your country. So definitely. I guess even though it's important to stabilize yourself or to put yourself in stable shape economically and all that, don't hesitate also to take the time to help out others, especially now that we are in this never-ending new normal, it seems. All the more we have to be helpful towards others. I guess that's the true marksman, not just of a decent adult, but just a decent human being right now. I think, again, as Mark mentioned, not everyone has the same privileges others have. So in this very extraordinary period, it really pays for us, each of us, whether adults, kids, or whoever, to just really reach out to others. I think that's really the true mark of a solid adult or a solid human being that has solid foundational core values.
Yeah, man. And it also doesn't have to be charity, you know? Like what I'm doing right now is I'm growing I built an urban farm at the back of our house, right? So right now I'm growing a couple of vegetables. Right now we're growing lettuce, pechay. We've got cucumber, eggplant, and just stuff that we could sell to the community at a lower rate.
Wow,
so,
that's nice. Bro.
Yeah, because we don't it makes perfect sense because it keeps them safe. They don't have to go to the market, right? I'm also growing fish. I'm doing aquaponics. I'm growing tilapia, which I plan to also sell at a really low rate because it helps people not go out of their houses or the community, and it's cheap and it works. It works for the both of us. So. Like helping out doesn't necessarily mean you hand out money on the street, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Even podcasts help the community out as well. It is in a way part of our free core.
It's soul food.
Yeah,
it's soul food for listeners.
It is still a service to your community and the society that you live in, man. As long as it's obviously the topics are decent.
Oh yeah. But bro, that's such a class act, bro. That's such a class act on your part, because now it seems that with the whole demand going up, the demand going up, it's like the supplies are pretty low. So law of economics is the prices should go up, right? But I love what you guys are doing. You're not overpricing these products, and you're really making sure everyone gets as much as they can. So as long as it's equally and evenly distributed, and it's distributed fairly, of course.
Yeah, I learned this from an Ateneo prof, Dr. Ang. Yeah, he taught me. Because listen, if you want to help out, grow an urban farm and feed your community first. If you've got an excess, then sell outside of your community, but the main priority should be your community. Make sure that you provide basic needs, essential goods. I'm also building a hold on, let me get it. In part of service too. This isn't the exact juice, but I've built a business around immunotherapy. Not really immunotherapy, but and I'm also selling it for a fraction of the cost of what the other boosters are putting themselves out for. And it's also like, this is still to help like people, encourage people to become healthy and fortify their immune system, which is what we need during these times, you know.
Yeah.
And it's still a win-win. You know, I'm not
win-win.
here to I'm not here to get rich. I'm here to help people get healthy, 100%. You know.
Wow, that's amazing. It's amazing stuff right there.
I got a great job as well. You know, I do not, you know, it's also on the back end, I can do this because I've worked hard since forever. And so I can build things that can really help out and give good impact to the community without thinking about, you know. What I'm trying to say is I put myself in a good position enough to be able to play around with this stuff. And so those people that are listening that are in the position, you can do so many things that can still be a little bit sustainable.
Yes, sir.
You know, just be smart.
Wow, that's interesting. That's so many side projects. That's so many ways to reach out. And I really got to give you credit because you're doing such a great service to your family, your people, and really those who are in need right now of aid, whether it's financial, whether it's food and all that. It will really go a long way. So
thanks, man.
That's just a perfect way to just wrap it up. However, since you did mention podcasting a while ago, it's such a shame that we couldn't discuss this early in the beginning of the pod. But just for my viewers to get a grasp of what this episode is, this is actually my first ever podcast collaboration. So if you guys don't know, Mark is a podcaster himself. He has a show called Diskarte Weekly, and he did have an episode just a little while ago. And like I said, I was a guest on very short notice, but it was worth it nonetheless. So what is Diskarte Weekly all about? And I feel like it's so perfect to this topic, adulting, because
it ties so in as well.
Is all about finding yung tamang diskarte. Like ano yung dapat mong gawin, ano yung mga dapat mong i-diskarte, like moving forward. But anyways, what is the podcast all about?
Yeah. It's such a perfect tie-in to what we've been talking about. Diskarte is something that I built because specifically I really wanted to learn what the Diskarte is, or in English, what the strategies are for the people in really unconventional jobs or unconventional positions. I built this, and there were at a time when the online selling boom happened. Shopee, Lazada, and actually specifically Facebook Marketplace is when everything really shut up because the barriers of entry was so low, and so mindless. You can literally just sell. You've already got a Facebook profile. You don't have to worry about signing up to the Lazada program or the Shopee program. It was just your Facebook profile, which is like an SSS ID for the entire world, right? So I wanted to invite people that weren't, doing the typical. I invited rappers and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, it was just me talking to them about their stories and how they did it and how they made it or what they're doing to get where they want to go. Right? And it's still at the back, like this is really the core of a lot of what I do is really giving back to people as well, you know, just not really exposing, but just really finding out how to be successful or how to do, how to manage a business while doing a day job, right? Or how to become a painter. Like you don't hear that. You really don't hear that too often.
Yes, sir. You don't.
Like, what are the technicalities of being a painter? How do you become a rapper? How do you become an urban planner? Which, by the way, Pat Velasco, shout out. He's also from Ateneo, a good friend of mine. One of the best episodes. Check it out. How do you become an urban planner? You don't wake up and tell yourself that, I want to be an urban planner when I grow up. So that's kind of the what I wanted Diskarte to be. It's evolved a little bit outside of that to be a little bit more of I'm going into specific industries now, right? So I went through like the engineering industry, the construction industry, I guested a PBA player a while ago, or a pro. He's out of the PBA now, but yeah, that's what Diskarte is about. It's showing the listeners how it is done in specific job categories or specific passions or crafts and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow, that is awesome. And to be honest, I kind of modeled my podcast on that because if you remember the intro, like place to be for any niche, every genre. That is essentially what your podcast is also about. And it's
actually,
very interesting.
I just realized that.
How our podcasts are pretty much parallel and similar to one another, even though yours is like more acclaimed or seasoned. Like, I just love how the concepts are similar and how they tie in together. So
it's
major
really
props,
perfect.
Major props, bro.
You too, man. Starting it this early, bro, you're probably gonna do way better than I will because my creativity, because it's really difficult to sustain what I'm doing just because, of the day job and stuff like that. So I feel like your creative juices will really do you good.
Wow, that's amazing. And I guess on that note, we're gonna wrap it up here. And I guess any more last minute tips? I know I said it earlier, but we will have a part 2, by the way, guys. So if you feel like we missed out on anything, just comment below in my YouTube video or on the Facebook post that I will be posting soon. But while we're still here, Mark, do you have any last minute final pieces of advice to those who are going to make that transition, or to those who are in the middle of that transition but are seemingly like in that position you were back then, the existential crisis, the quarter life crisis, all those crises? What is your final message, essentially? Like, if you could give one.
Honestly, keep it real. You really, really have to keep it real. Above, obviously there's being human, like being a decent human, on a top of everything, and respecting, what the engineer has given us, like respecting the world in general and your country. But I feel like the best tip I could give is try not to pose, bro. You gotta be you through it all. I feel like all the bad stuff that I did back in the day was because I was trying to be, I was really trying to show off, or I just didn't think of the world opportunity. So now that your generation is incoming, specifically in the time of a pandemic, you're gonna have to work for your first couple of months in front of a computer. So the opportunities to build your character, your first ever character as a working classman, right, is gonna be behind a webcam. And try not to build up a persona of a character that isn't you. I feel like staying authentic and staying original to what you are, physically or in the real outside world or post COVID, is going to be really important because it does shape you, your first job.
Yes, sir. Couldn't agree with you more. I feel like authenticity is the key to thriving or just surviving. But whatever you want to do in your life.
Being yourself,
Being yourself, staying true to your values, and just maintaining the core. I think those are essential when it comes to surviving this crazy world we live in right now.
100%.
So that's all we have for today.
Hold on. One last thing.
Go ahead,
Just one before I go.
No worries. I'm all ears.
Confidence goes a long way, right? But there is outward confidence, and there is internal confidence. I think deploying internal confidence, and really pumping when I meant external confidence is like telling everyone on social media that you're the guy, I feel like also you need a lot of confidence. What I wanted to say really was you're limitless. Like as a person of this age, as a person of, despite the pandemic, within this time frame, within this era of our existence as humans in the with whatever is happening in the world, your age really is the freaking future. I cannot stress that enough. I even believe that when you guys get to government positions, you will do it so good, because you've witnessed evils that are just out of this world and aren't cool in your eyes,
Oh yeah.
So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
please truly believe in yourselves, because I do. You are limitless, and don't ever stop. Don't let anyone tell you can't do something that you feel like will have a positive impact in your community.
Mm-hmm. In short, it's all about that Mamba mentality always.
Mamba mentality, baby. Yes.
R.I.P. Kobe. Yep.
R.I.P. Kobe. GG. Love you.
Mm-hmm. So before we go, any last minute or any social plugs, any shameless plugs you would like to
yes, please
share to my viewers?
Yeah. I just recently opened up Diskarte Weekly on Instagram. Check us out there. I'll be posting clips. I didn't want to do it initially, but everyone's been telling me to do so. So yeah, whatever, I'll do it. My Facebook is growing better than I expected it to be. So head on over there. There's a couple of actually all of my podcasts are there now. I'm on Spotify. I am on Apple Podcasts. Yeah, I'm on Instagram too. Mendy Schmendy. Mendy Schmendy. Check it out.
Wow, that's difficult to memorize, but
yeah. Sorry. I just want to promote Go Shots. We're launching in 2 weeks. This podcast is coming out on Monday, so we'll probably we're launching the Monday after that. Check us out. We're gonna give out a couple of packs to our followers. It's lemon, orange, turmeric, and ginger, cold pressed, raw, unpasteurized, 100% juice. Not fully organic yet, but they're as fresh as they come. Mm-hmm. So check us out on Instagram, GoShotsPH. Oh, I think GoShots.ph. I'll send it over, but check us out there. Thank you.
There you go, guys. So check out his plugs, check out his juice. I'm sure it's gonna go so well. Yeah. So thank you, Mark, for taking the time this evening to be here. I truly appreciated it. 30-year-old spreading so much wealth of knowledge and information to the 20-year-olds out there, and even the late teens. I think that is really when young adulting happened. So the fact that we guested someone who's been through it all, who's been there, done that, had all these crises, all these internal overthinking moments. It was really what we needed now in this time. So really hats off to you, buddy, for even being here and just spreading your information, bro.
My pleasure. We can win this. Definitely.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much. So those are his accounts, by the way. I will link them below in the description and on my Facebook and IG. If you want to follow me, it is on Instagram. For my podcast account, it is at JOAT.pod.delro. If you want to follow my personal account, it is at Jake_Delro. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it is at _Del_Ro_. And you can also catch this page on Facebook. It is Jake of All Trades Podcast with Delro. And you can catch my episodes weekly. Well, every Mondays and Fridays, but mostly on Mondays for sure. On Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Radio Public, and YouTube. So check me out on these platforms and on these sites. And that's a wrap, y'all. Thank you for tuning in today, mga Del Bros at Sisters. This has been your one and only Jake of All Trades. And I am Delro, signing out. Hanggang sa susunod na usapan at chikahan. See ya!
Peace out.